humans and possible bots, I'd like to tell you about something amazing. Yesterday, I finally created a Chrome extension that I have been dreaming about for a long time while watching TV and without writing a single line of code. And the craziest thing is, it cost me less than $2. Luckily, I screen recorded the whole thing, and in this video, I'd like to show you everything I've done step by step so that you too can create useful apps that make you happy and proud. Let's begin by talking about tools. I used Visual Studio Code as my code editor with Roo Code, which is a Visual Studio Code extension that turns Visual Studio Code into an autonomous coding agent. I love it because it's free and open source and gives you so much freedom, yet so much power. The AI models I've used for this project were Claude Sonnet 4 and Claude Opus. I used OpenRouter as the API provider. I like that I can buy credits and spend them however I want on whichever model I like. Alright, now I'll tell you exactly what I did. First, I created a directory and opened it in Visual Studio Code. Then immediately opened my sidebar since that's where my Roo lives. I immediately switched Roo to architect mode, and then I decided to create a new configuration profile just for Opus and just selected it. Then came the hardest part, which is writing the prompt. I didn't know exactly how to write a good prompt. I ended up writing, I want to make a Chrome extension to assign hotkeys to phrases I can add or delete and just have them ready to paste anywhere I'm focused on when I hit the hotkey. I figured that's probably not a good prompt. Then I remembered that Roo Code has a prompt enhancer feature. It looks like a magic wand. I clicked on it, thinking it's probably not gonna know what I meant. But it did. It turned my underwhelming prompt into a clear, actionable prompt. And I couldn't be happier. And so I crossed my fingers and clicked on submit. Roo made the to-do list, which to be honest, I didn't actually read all the way through. I approved it anyways. Then it asked a few questions, which I skimmed through and just selected an answer without thinking too much. And then something kind of interesting happened. So usually, from my experience at least, Roo Code always asks to switch to code mode before it attempts to write anything other than a markdown file. But this time it didn't. It attempted to create a JSON file and then realized that it can't do that. And then it corrected itself and created a markdown file with the project structure. Then Roo presented me with the next to do, which was implement backend logic for storing or retrieving phrases. I just asked it to switch to code mode and hit enter, and then it did. And everything went amazingly. When Roo is done coding, the next to do got highlighted, and it was test extension functionality thoroughly. I decided to not hit approve and test the extension myself because I was excited to see if it will work. It didn't work because in the manifest it was indicated that there are icons, but nobody made icons. I copied the error and pasted it, expecting that Roo was going to adjust the manifest.json, but instead it started creating icons. I had no idea it could do that, so when I saw it create an SVG file and then a PNG file, and I saw an icon appearing, I was like, what? This is crazy! And guess what? Roo actually created an HTML file to create PNG icons using Canvas. It really took me by surprise. And look, it's using a cursor to click on stuff in the browser it opened inside Visual Studio Code. Amazing, right? After it finished creating the files, it moved them to the icons directory. It showed the to-do list again. It wanted to test the extension. I told it, okay, I will test it. And I'm kind of ashamed that I haven't noticed that there was no popup.html. So obviously when I clicked on the icon, a pop-up doesn't show. I let Roo know and it started working on the pop-up right away. After that, it updated the other files so that they work well with the pop-up. And before I knew it, it declared the task complete. And to my surprise, the pop-up looked really good, styled with CSS and everything. And you can click on Manage Options button. It has like this gorgeous option page. I was super duper happy, especially when I tried inserting a hotkey and it worked. But then when I tried actually using the hotkey, it didn't paste like it was supposed to. So I decided to tell Roo, and this time I used the magic wand because I really wanted to get things right at this point. I was like excited. I was like, yeah, this is happening. It actually worked after that. I was super duper happy. But after playing with it for a while, I discovered a bug. I realized that if I write something like hello, comma, enter, Pico, it pastes in one line instead of 2 lines. Of course, I reported that to my developer, Roo, and Roo worked on the bug right away and fixed it. I couldn't be happier. Although I have been a fan of Roo Code for a while, I love how community driven it is, how creative the solutions that the team behind it keeps coming up with and rapidly implementing, all while keeping Roo free and open source. This is the first time I try creating something that I actually wanted and will be using every day. Don't get me wrong, I use AI a lot, but I was very reluctant to actually start projects that I actually want to build with AI from the beginning and have it do the whole thing autonomously. Because I really like coding. And so I guess I wanted to stay in the land of denial for a while longer. But honestly, it's getting harder and harder to do that. AI is advancing super quickly, and that really fuels my anxiety. However, I think it's important to focus on the positives. The one positive is the distance between idea and product has never been shorter. I'm not sure if what I've just said makes sense. I should probably end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. And if you find my content useful or enjoyable, please consider becoming a channel member. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave them in the comments. Goodbye.